we started RIZN, what was really on our mind was, in our heart was, we wanted a youth group that was going to be passionate. That was one of the things. I can even remember us just talking about, we really don't want a church where, there's a bunch of teenagers half asleep in the back row on Sunday morning, but kids that were really going to be passionate for God. And I think along that lines was just the idea that as people were coming to Christ, that they would then go back into their school with that same fire and reach out to their friends, and they would become the difference makers. And that, I think, was a lot of what was on our heart, was just the culture of passion for Jesus that we would develop within the youth. We realized that what we need to do was we need to literally create church for youth that would be passionate, that would be engaging, that would be loud, that would be everything that youth would want to be a part of. And yet in the midst of building that kind of service, that certainly there would be an uncompromising preaching of the gospel of Jesus, and really bringing the Bible into the lives of young people. And that really, I think, has become the heart of what RIZN is all about. On Friday nights, there's the social, there's the fun, those things happen, but that's not the big deal. The big deal is the service.
What I remember about the early days is it was a gong show most nights, to be honest. We'd show up in the multi-purpose room, and we'd have one of those sliding barricades that we'd pull out, and it would section that little multi-purpose room in half, because we wanted it to, the same principles that we're working with today, we wanted it to try to fill the room a little bit and make it exciting.
We didn't get to use whatever we wanted to use for materials and for the room we had. We had to use what we had. And we had this little room that was not painted to how we wanted it to be. We had this short little stage that was, it was good, but it wasn't exactly what we wanted. And all the sound stuff we had, it wasn't high quality, but we went and we did the best we possibly could with it.
So we were setting up all our equipment every week, taking things down.
We'd have to set up the whole sound system. We'd even have to set up this little stage that we go there. So it was like the whole thing at that time is like everyone who was involved and willing to serve, that's what the team was. And honestly, at the time, I don't remember, but I think there's we'd be lucky if we had 5 or 6 committed people, young adults that were helping out. There was no separate ministry for this, ministry for that, ministry for this. It was no, we're the RIZN ministry and we do everything. Compared to what we do now, it's completely ghetto. Completely ghetto. But our attitude at that time and our attitude now is still the exact same. We want to make this an amazing atmosphere to the best of our ability. We want to make this a place where someone could bring out their friend who's never been to church before, and that person could come into it and be like, yeah, this is cool, I want to come back.
RIZN, the first time that I went in, there's just 20, 25 of us. They made me feel so welcome, like I was part of this, like I was part of RIZN off the back, and I was like, my goal is to make everyone that walks in through those doors to feel like they're part of RIZN, to be part of this movement that God's doing.
And I remember how exciting it was to see new people come, to see people there for the first time, and just getting so excited about that and what was going to happen with this person. Are they going to stay? Is this going to be one of those people that comes for one week and that's it?
I remember carrying this vision inside of me that, what if RIZN was consistently 100 people? And I remember thinking about that and dreaming about that when we had even 30 people coming, and then 40, and then 50, and as we slowly grew over the years, it seemed like it was becoming more and more reality. And I remember thinking that 100 teenagers coming to RIZN would be huge amazing thing.
And we were just dreaming of like, you know, one day we're gonna have like 100 teenagers come out. We were just dreaming big dreams and
having this little tiny youth group that you knew it was gonna go somewhere, and you know, you just had faith that God was gonna do something with it.
Maybe if I try just a little more, I can take myself from this dirty floor and walk through buildings of elegance, just like you are intelligent. But still
By this time, our youth group had grown to maybe about 50 kids, and we were starting to pack out the multi-purpose room. We put 50 people in there for services, starting to get a little bit full. And plus, we were getting really sick and tired of tearing down and setting up the stage every single week.
9910 hasn't always been 9910. When we first came in this building, it was just the third building.
Pastor Dennis had shared this vision with us about turning that into a youth center and making it an awesome place just to, you know, have RIZN every Friday.
But the church needed the finances. They didn't have the finance to renovate it, so they needed the finances, so they rented it out.
The company who is under the lease had a long-term lease, and Pastor Dennis had approached him, and because we were needing more space, and he was not interested in breaking the lease at all. It was like sort of disappointing. It was like, you know, we'd have to wait till the end of this lease. This could be a couple years away, or however long it was going to be. And it was like, well, okay, what are we going to do? And I remember that every Friday after RIZN, we'd meet for these prayer meetings, and we'd pray from like 11 at night till 1 in the morning.
I remember praying for 9910, for the finances to make it happen, and just for a miracle to come through, that, you know, that we would get in that building as soon as possible.
And we'd pray like passionately. By the end of it, our voices would be hoarse, and we'd just like be speaking in faith. We'd like literally put our hands out towards 9910, and we'd be like, you know, in the name of Jesus, that we would get that building, that he would find a better place to run his business from, that he'd be blessed from it, but that we would get that. And, you know, we just spoke that we saw that building full of teenagers, and we saw it full of kids in Sunday mornings, and we were just like praying in faith that this was going to be an amazing youth place for RIZN and for our church.
What Project 9910 is all about is us taking this building, 9910 67th Avenue, and turning it into an atmosphere that is going to be so attractive to children, to youth, to young adults, and really become a vehicle for outreach. And I know as we do this, we're going to see many lives of children, youth, and the young adult community reach for Jesus, because we're preparing that place to reach out to them. God bless, and I'm just excited about seeing us accomplish Project 9910.
The grand opening of 9910 was an amazing day. Amazing day. We had a red ribbon over it, and we cut that thing, and people were so excited. It's so cool to see what that building has done for RIZN as a group, and almost just the confidence that we've got from 9910.
Was a pivotal jump in our ministry going to the next level, without a doubt. We no longer had to set up the stage. We no longer had to set up the projector. We had a computer. It was just the resources we had at our tips. It was just that much better.
It was really cool to see what we could do.
Then looking upwards, I strain my eyes and try.
RIZN was just running on half of 9910, then the other half we'd use for games at the end of the night or whatever. So at this time, we probably have about 75, 80 people coming out to RIZN consistently. When we were in the multi-purpose room, we didn't have a need for teams because it was a smaller ministry, and really there was no one else around, and it was more about the jobs.
Some people would have jobs, and some people would attend. You know, this guy would do games, and that guy would do worship.
We realized if we really want to grow this ministry, we're going to need teams. And if we really want to grow this ministry, it can't be just us doing it all the time. And so we really started to put a lot of energy into empowering people to create teams. And so we found the people that were like, you know, excited and faithful, and we said, hey, can you just make this team yours? Can you make sure this job gets done? Yeah, so we wanted the job to get done, but not just the focus of the job getting done, but it was like, go out and find some teenagers to help you get this job done every Friday. And try to build that team to as many teenagers, as many other volunteers as you can, because that's going to be a great way for you to, you know, disciple and pour into them and hang out with them.
And it's cool to see how every leader, you know, seeing them when they were the only person doing that, now each leader has taken a few teens under their wings, and they've been able to just show them what they do good. And it's just awesome to see these teens just develop and just become so amazing at what they do. And it's just so exciting to see what's going to happen with them as they teach other people and they teach other people, and it's just growing and growing and growing. It's just so stoked to be part of that.
Why do you come to RIZN Youth? Because I love Jesus. Why do you come to RIZN Youth?
I love RIZN. It's the best thing that's ever happened in my life. I love Daniel Varty. He's working the camera right now. He's a great guy.
Hey, why do you guys come to RIZN Youth?
Because it's fun! Woo!
Is this the best? Why do you come to RIZN Youth? Hi, Mom.
Why do I come to RIZN Youth?
Yeah.
Well, for one, they give me chocolate to do sound. For two, I eat the chocolate and do lights as well. Everyone wins.
Why do you guys come to RIZN Youth?
Joel. I come because I want to meet my wife.
Hey. Why do you come to RIZN Youth?
Cookies.
Youth is amazing.
Because I want to see Steven.
I come to RIZN Youth because of you and that man behind the camera. And Jesus. And that's it.